It looks like Apocalypto 2 might happen after The Passion of the Christ 2. Mel Gibson's 2006 film Apocalypto was a bold and ambitious project that stirred up plenty of debate. Whether you loved it or not, the movie, much like Gibson himself, has grown into something of a misunderstood gem, attracting a niche but devoted audience. And that audience is still wondering, will there ever be a sequel? Well, there is a very good reason why there should be one. The original film, a gripping historical action-adventure, was co-written by Gibson and Farhad Safinia. It starred Indigenous and Mexican actors like Rudy Youngblood, Raoul Trujillo, Mayra Sérbulo, Dalia Hernández, and more. The story focused on the Maya civilization, and all the characters spoke Yucatec Mayan with subtitles providing the dialogue. Apocalypto was a box office hit, pulling in over $120 million globally. It earned praise for Gibson's direction, Dean Semler's stunning cinematography, and the cast's performances. However, the film also faced criticism for its depiction of Maya culture and historical inaccuracies. Mel Gibson described the Maya setting in Apocalypto as just the backdrop for a more universal story about exploring civilizations and what causes them to crumble. Co-writer Farhad Safinia mentioned that the film intentionally draws parallels between the decline of the Maya and modern society, highlighting issues like environmental destruction, overconsumption, and political corruption. Gibson explained that Apocalypto aims to reflect the similarities between great empires of the past and those of today. The movie also acts as a cultural critique. Archaeologist Richard Hansen referred to it as a social statement, emphasizing the importance of questioning our assumptions about morality. Gibson further explained that the title, derived from the Greek word apocalypto, means a new beginning or an unveiling, a revelation. He summed it up by saying that civilizations, like everything else, have a beginning and an end. Set in the Yucatán around 1517, Apocalypto follows the journey of Jaguar Paw, a young Mesoamerican hunter, as his life takes a dramatic turn after an invasion. While hunting with his father Flint Sky and other tribesmen, they cross paths with refugees fleeing destruction. Flint Sky observes their fear and advises Jaguar Paw never to let fear take hold of him. That night, the tribe listens to a haunting story from an elder about a being driven by insatiable greed who keeps taking until the world is left barren. The next morning, their peaceful village is attacked by Maya raiders led by Zero Wolf. Many villagers are killed, including Flint Sky, who dies at the hands of the cruel raider Middle Eye. In the chaos, Jaguar Paw manages to hide his pregnant wife Seven and their young son Turtle's Run in an empty well before he is captured. The surviving adults are rounded up and forced to march through the jungle, leaving the village's children to survive on their own. Meanwhile, Seven and Turtle's Run remain trapped in the well, desperately trying to find a way out as they face their own peril. On their journey, the raiders and their captives pass through scorched forests, failed maize fields, and villages ravaged by a mysterious disease. Along the way, they encounter a sickly little girl who ominously proclaims a prophecy about the fall of the Maya world. When they reach the city, the captives are divided. Women are sold into slavery, while the men are taken to the top of a massive pyramid to be sacrificed in an effort to appease the gods. Just as Jaguar Paw is about to be executed on the altar, a solar eclipse occurs, which the Maya interpret as a sign that the gods are satisfied. The remaining captives are spared from sacrifice but are sent to the raiders' barracks for another grim fate. There, the raiders use the captives as targets in a cruel game. They promise freedom to those who can dodge their projectiles, while Zero Wolf's son, Cut Rock, finishes off anyone left wounded. The first pair of captives, including Jaguar Paw's friend Blunted, are quickly killed. When Jaguar Paw's turn comes, he is injured but manages to evade his attackers. Blunted, in his final moments, distracts Cut Rock, giving Jaguar Paw the chance to fight back. In the struggle, Jaguar Paw kills Cut Rock and seizes the opportunity to escape. Furious at Jaguar Paw's escape, Zero Wolf leads 8 of his men on a relentless hunt. Deep in the jungle, Jaguar Paw recalls his father's advice to reject fear and decides to turn the tables, challenging Zero Wolf to track him. Using his intimate knowledge of the forest, Jaguar Paw outsmarts his pursuers, who meet various grim fates. A jaguar mauls one, a snake bites another, a third drowns, and yet another is poisoned by Jaguar Paw's cunning traps. Jaguar Paw takes down Middle Eye with a stone hatchet and ultimately kills Zero Wolf by luring him into a deadly spike trap. The last two raiders chase Jaguar Paw to the edge of his village, but their pursuit is interrupted by an extraordinary sight. Spanish conquistadors arrive at the shore in the midst of a torrential downpour. While the raiders are distracted, Jaguar Paw seizes the moment to rescue his wife, son, and newborn baby who was born underwater. Reunited and relieved, the family later watches the Spanish ships from a distance. Choosing not to engage with the foreigners, Jaguar Paw decides to lead his family into the forest, determined to start a new life far from the chaos of both the Maya civilization and the new arrivals. The depiction of the Maya in Apocalypto sparked significant debate, with scholars pointing out historical inaccuracies and raising concerns about the portrayal of their civilization. The film blends elements from various time periods and regions of Maya culture, a detail noted by Alan Wall, who criticized its lack of specificity. While the film shows mass human sacrifices and widespread slavery, scholars argue these practices were more characteristic of the Aztecs. However, Mayanist David Stewart has countered that such sacrifices were not uncommon among the Maya, citing carvings and mural evidence showing similarities with Aztec practices. Criticism also extends to the film's emphasis on violence and human sacrifice, particularly during the late Maya period before the Spanish conquest. Anthropologist Tracy Ardren argued the movie overlooks the Mayas' significant achievements in science, art, spirituality, and engineering. Others, like Guatemalan activist Ignacio Ochoa, see the narrative as perpetuating a harmful stereotype that Maya brutality justified European colonization. Richard D. Henson, a historical consultant for the film, acknowledged that it could give the impression the Maya were excessively sadistic, which might alienate contemporary Maya communities. The focus on gratuitous violence drew condemnation from experts like Julia Guernsey, who criticized the film for perpetuating offensive racial stereotypes. Guernsey noted that while the Maya were a sophisticated culture, the movie frames their practices through a lens of Western morality, failing to appreciate their alternative and equally valid worldview. Now, much of these critics can be fixed with a sequel. The first movie dived into the fall of the Maya civilization through personal struggles and a crumbling society. A follow-up could dig deeper into what happened after European contact, focusing on the resilience of indigenous cultures and the collision of two worlds. The arrival of the Spanish conquistadors opens up a lot of storytelling potential. A sequel could explore how colonization impacted the Maya and their neighbors, showing how they resisted, adapted, and survived. It would also give a more rounded and fair portrayal of their culture. Plus, there's so much more to Jaguar Paw's story. He ended the first movie retreating into the forest with his family. A sequel could follow his journey as he rebuilds his community and faces the new challenges brought by the Spanish. It could turn him into a leader trying to preserve both his people and their way of life. The next chapter could also tackle the criticism about the original's focus on violence. By showcasing the Maya's brilliance in science, architecture, and spirituality, it could offer a more respectful and complete view of their achievements. At the same time, it could connect those historical struggles to today's issues, like environmental destruction or cultural erasure, making the story hit home for modern audiences. And visually, the original nailed it with stunning cinematography and high-stakes action. A sequel could expand that with new settings like coastal villages or cities dealing with European trade and conflict. It could be a thrilling historical drama while giving a fuller, more balanced look at the Maya's incredible resilience. Well, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other exciting upcoming movies. We'll see you next time.